Hey guys, and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to use the game capture and so how to add any game to actually record a gameplay while using OBS. But first guys, if you want, you can go down on this video in the comment section and click on the first comment that I pinned. This will bring you to my Fiverr, and here you can get a YouTube logo and banner or a modern minimalist YouTube logo and banner for your YouTube channel. But now back to the video. Now first off, you actually should start with a scene here. I already have one, as you can see here, but if you don't have one, you right click here, you do add. You can call this whatever you want. It will simply add a scene here, as you can see. And then within that scene, you have sources. Now in this case, I only have a display capture right here. But we can of course then also right click and of course go to add and add a game capture. And you can call this whatever you want. Just click OK here. Now here it's actually advised that you do capture a specific window. That's definitely something that's more advised, because you can actually just specifically of course select the game in question. That should be running, by the way, very important. Make sure that the game in question you want to record is obviously running. As you can see, I clicked the window here. I only have Hearthstone open here, so that's actually one I'm going to use as an example. You can see it's already previewing the game. And this actually captures the audio live directly from the game. It is still somewhat in beta, but you can definitely play around with this if you want to. And then if you go down here, you just have a couple of preferences here. For example, if you want to capture the cursor on your screen or not. You use anti-cheat, I advise you to actually keep this one checked. It's advised. And here normal, and also the color space, just make sure it's RGB. I would say that's definitely the best choice here. And then click OK. As you can see, I have the game right here. I actually purposely minimalized the game, because as you can see right here, if I actually go ahead and show the game capture, as you can see, you have the wrong size. Because the game itself, if I go back, is, as you can see, in window mode right here. So if you want to see it in the full screen, and this can be shown, by the way, down here, as you can see my cursor here on the bar, taskbar, that's something obviously you don't want, and shows you that it's not full screen. Now, of course, that also has to do a lot with the resolution of your screen. That's why it's advised to get a 24-inch screen, because it will have the 920 by 1080 resolution. So basically the resolution I'm recording in with right now, because this is a 24-inch screen, it's going to fill up the whole screen. Otherwise there's going to be some black bars right here. As you can see right here, because as you can see now I'm recording this, but if I remove my display capture, I'm only going to have the game capture. As you can see, everything here is black. Basically pretty much everything is black except from that little screen in the corner. Obviously you don't want that, so resolution is very important. Now if I actually go back here, multiple ways you can do this. You can of course stretch this to the screen, obviously, to have the full ratio. That's also very important. But there are times that it's actually going to be like in the corner like this, and you're barely going to see anything. You don't know really how to resize it. It's lagging out a bit. What you actually can do is right click and do transform and click reset transform right here, or go down to fit to screen. These two should help you out if you, for example, your game is completely out of picture, you have a black screen and your game is somewhere else out of the preview zone here, because this is the preview zone. And imagine this is like completely out of the preview zone. You don't know where it is. As I said, you can actually use these two, so reset transform and fit to screen, to actually get it back. So that's very important. Now what I'm actually going to do here to get it full screen, now if you really don't get the game to show up and all you have is a black screen and you have nothing else, and you made sure that the game is running, that you actually did a game capture, transform and fit to screen. If you did all of that, but you still can't seem to find the game, you're probably having just a problem with a black screen, which is something I actually have a video on, which you can check out above here in the right corner. It's if you're really struggling to get any screen at all and that you only have a black screen and that's all you have, even though you did all of the steps here. Go check out that video if you want. It could help you out. If I go back to Hearthstone, there you go. So I'm actually only going to record the game capture here. As you can see, there's a black bar down there. Now if I actually go ahead to the settings and actually put it in full screen here, as you can see, it now takes over the whole screen in the 920 by 1080 resolution, which is once again my 24-inch screen. And so as you can see, I can just record it like this in full screen without any problems, any black bars, nothing. So it's very important to keep in mind. And it's actually also something you should look at if you're actually going to buy a screen and plan on recording. So you have the 1280 by 720, that's a bit outdated, 920 by 1080, and of course everything about 20K and then 4K if you have like a higher resolution screen, obviously. Do watch out those resolutions and keep that in mind if you want to record. So it's very important to keep in mind. So you also have to watch in the game the resolution, but also you can go here in the settings and you go to video. As you can see, I'm recording here right now, so it's grayed out. But basically, as you can see, mine is 920 by 1080. This is the base canvas. This is what my screen is. So that's a 16 by 9, which is 1920 by 1080. And the output scaled resolution is the one that you're going to see, which I just put both at 920 by 1080. You could put this lower, for example. You could put this lower, for example, to 1280 by 720. But you do always have to make sure that this one right here is the right resolution of your screen. And so if you're going to use the game in window mode, expect to see the taskbar, or you'd have some black squares, unfortunately. So I do advise you to go full screen in most cases. Once again, depending on the resolution of your screen. And in case the game capture actually doesn't really work correctly, you actually have two alternatives, but it will demand a bit more resources. That's the downside of it. So the first one is going to be, if I right click here, I'm going to add a new one, window capture here. So it's going to capture a specific window. In this case, of course, same, make sure the game is running and you select that window that has the game running. So there's also an alternative. You could test it out if that works for you, as well as, of course, you might have guessed it right here, the display capture. So basically everything that's on your display is recorded right now. So if I would launch a game, you'll actually see partially my taskbar, saw earlier, and my desktop, and then the game as well at the same time. Basically every window, any application that is open, display capture is going to show it, because it's just simply going to record your display. There's really nothing else to it, but that also demands a bit more resources. But that's really in case you really have a lot of problems with the game capture, and some specific games might actually work better if, for example, you do a window capture or a display capture. But that's going to be in some very specific cases, I think. It's just something I wanted to mention here, just in case. And lastly here, I actually wanted to mention something else that's very important. If I right click here anywhere on my desktop, go to display settings, actually go to graphics settings here, so you can type graphics settings right here or in search. I'm actually going to add a desktop app, and so you can basically do this for OBS itself and for any game that's running. You can do it for both. It's going to basically give you a priority in performance. And so right here, I'm just going to select OBS. So I'm going to go to program files. And so make sure right here you're in disk C. It's probably going to be your disk C. And I'm actually going to go to program files, OBS Studio here, bin, 64-bit, and I'm just going to click OBS. You can click this twice, or you can do add. As you can see, you would have it right here. Basically, if you do this little arrow right here, you're going to see the GPU preference here. Now, obviously, in this case, because it's the GPU preference, I want it to be my graphics card. So in this case, that's my NVIDIA GeForce right here. Let Windows decide. I don't advise you to do that. It's better to actually know what you're doing. So if I put it, for example, to the power saving one, which is going to be the AMD Radeon right here, graphics, it's going to be my CPU. But because it's the GPU, and clearly my GPU is going to do a better performance here, I'm going to go for my graphics card, so my GPU. But there are cases you actually want it to be more on like a power saving, like a more like of a CPU choice here. That depends. It really depends. It depends on your PC. For the priority in terms of performance, how well it's going to perform. So in this case, OBS Studio. But once again, you can also do that, for example, with a game, if you have like Minecraft here or Hearthstone. This also makes sure that your game capture is going to perform better. But make sure you test it out for yourself, which option will be better for yours. And of course, you also have different specs. Of course, I have a different CPU, GPU right here. So you just have to watch for yourself which one is actually better performing in your PC. And then just click it right here. Optimize for Windows games, you can leave that on right here. It's not really anything too important. But okay, guys, there you go. So I really tried to cover how to set up the game capture in OBS, how to actually use it, and also some smaller details that I haven't really seen a lot of YouTubers mention, but I think is very important when you're actually going to use the game capture in order for it to happen smoothly, so that you don't have any problems with a black screen, as we saw the resolution. So yeah, there are some very important key points there that I wanted to mention. It is although the basics of the game capture that I went over. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. And in case I really hope you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, would be really nice. Subscribe to also be really nice. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.